Now you see salt in my hair for volume. Thanks for the tip, Henrik. You're welcome. Here she is. Listen to her. Hey. This is Luna, the French Bulldog. She's a cutie. She's a cutie. You know, the endorphin a pet gives a human does wonders. It's a good companion. Human's best friend is dogs. Got a migraine and I'm getting blind, guys. So, shit, sorry guys. I think this will be it for my stream, guys. Sorry.
Hello everyone and welcome to this stream summary about trinkets, amulets and rings. So trinkets are amulets and rings, so yeah, okay. We first hear what Henrik has to say about this and then I will go through the random questions and answers list.
So yeah, I got a few updates. It's really going to be buy to play and pay to play. That is correct. You need a subscription to play Mortal Online. The subscription is not activated yet. We will announce when that is planned. I'll start doing related to the master drop of players. Our base Mortal lose more than 50%. So obviously we have had launch issues. There's no escaping that. We've been working hard on obviously solving the issues and the current bugs. Make sure we polish and have a stable game. We're gonna make sure we cover a list of issues that affect quite a lot of players to make sure that the gaming experience is as smooth as possible before continuing on specific features and content. So there may possibly not be a stream next week. That's when I'm planning to do a possible Necromancer sneak peek. Holidays for I don't know how many years. I lost count of the years actually, other than Christmas Day in banana target distance. So yeah, so that is also something that we are planning to expand. Healers not getting clear experience and alliances are not working at all. Ideas on when this can be fixed. It is on our to-do list, so you will get an update. We're focusing, we're slowing down a few things and focusing on, like I mentioned, first main focus on some of the issues that we have now. That is everything from house issues to skills to pets. We want to make sure we cover that and have that full under control. And then the next one will be a little bit more focused on, again, content and features. And then we will follow up on polishing control and repeat. So that is a fine tune we're doing in the upcoming roadmap. So yeah, it's always been a struggle and a puzzle to build these roadmaps with all the developers and all the requirements and what is needed to take the next and so on. So, but this first one have been very insightful for us, and we have some very specific improvement and some tweaks in that pipeline for the next roadmap. I will be buying shares as well over time to show that I mean serious business with. It's a good opportunity. Things like being slow and standing still, the share being going down. It's a very good opportunity in my view. We can every now and then add additional parts to this, which is quite cool. So you will have rings and amulets starting with in this next patch. So this is a cool dynamic system where you will be able to find a type of ring and a type of amulet. And then there are different types of gems that are available on top of these. So as you can see on the bottom row, you can mix match all these ones. Hated Trinkets MO1. No, you're completely wrong, Kelly. It was one of the highest success in terms of content and tradability and never-ending farming and tweaks to the characters. And now we're refining that to be even better. So you're very wrong, I have to say that. But again, if you hate it, don't bother, right? So the combination here already gets quickly in different types. As you can see, these gems can be applied on the different types of rings. And the type of ring, as you can see here, you can guess perhaps the materials, starting with coprom, which is a quite basic ring type. Then we have a silver ring, and then we have a gold ring, and then can you guess the two to the right of those guys? Scatite, indeed, and Oghmium. Correct, your eyes is spot on. So it's actually Scatite and Oghmium. And then we have, in this case, 5 gems with some specific powers. Question is if you can guess what those are, guys. That is a little bit more hardcore. One gem gives... Okay, so just to give a little some base information about how this trinket works. You could kind of see the ring type as a tier. So in this case, 5 tiers from copper up to Oghmium. And then you have a gem effect that can be added on these in different drops that adds additional effects to the ring. They didn't do that in the first game, but now they actually are adding an effect that your ring can obtain. You're getting one effect per ring tier type, and then additional effect from the gem as well. You'll be able to see trinkets as items on a character model. No. So this is the plain rings, the plain amulets. That is, they're not specific to any clade or nation or anything like that. What we're adding next, now when we have the system, you may be able to find a hairpin from the chorites that you will put in the amulet slots, which means that is more specific coming from the chorite, which means they could be more focused on specific skills and attributes that are more dependent for that within that race. And there will also be different types of ring. So this is like a plain ring, and then we have snake rings, bone rings, and other types of ring families that also getting into the game. So the combination will be insane over time, what kind of trinket setup you may be able to find. And then there's a few components to this. So when you find a ring, it is unidentified if it have magical powers. You can only have it in your inventory, which means if you die, it is lootable out in the world with these unidentified rings. Or do you want to visit? So you need to visit one of the cities to identify the ring or the trinket. And then there's another very rare item that were used to be called a chaotic meld that you can use on your trinket. So if you happen to find a very rare combination, but it happens to have the wrong combination of wrong highest stat bonus for your build, if you happens to find chaotic meld, may change the name of that, you will be able to re-roll those effects, so you can hopefully get a better roll of stats for your need. So that is kind of the basics of how the trinkets work. They have different combinations, they have different types of rarities. So the highest gem is an adamant, as you can see here to the far right. That is a very rare component to be found on a trinket. An effect is a list that is ever growing as well. Over time you will see new types of effects that you didn't have a clue were available. No, so all have 3 charges, which means you can if you wear the ring, you can wear it when you've identified it. If you die when you have it on your finger, you will lose it, but you will lose a charge. When 3 charges have been depleted, you will be able to refill those charges again at a cost, and that cost is dependent on the rarity tier type of your ring. They can't be crafted yet, but we are planning to add jewelry crafting, which means you will be able to tap into some of these fields to build different type trinkets with magical powers. So we go for refills. There will be an NPC that will help you with that refill. Can you obtain them from dungeons? Yes, so you can obtain any of these trinkets anywhere in the world. Even on a bandit or a walker could find something very rare. When the ring from Lord of the Ring went into the water and then the hobbit found it, just casually random, happenly to get the hands of one of those most powerful ring in the world at that time. That is something that's interesting and cool, and that could happen.
Okay, so now let's go through the list. Removed furnitures will be handled by the GMs. Henrik will show some necromancy stuff after the next stream. The points of interest is worked on, that they can deliver it. Subscription is planned for later. A macro function will come that you can macro chat commands and bind them to your hotkeys, and also whole sentences and stuff. The veteran system will come later, and it will give you more skill points. Later, when sieging comes, they will be really carefully implement that to balance it out. A lot of magic schools are planned for the future. The roadmap is slightly changing, and the overall roadmap for the whole year is also changing a little. In the upcoming weeks, Henrik will say more about this. The current Steam player numbers are not the actual number of players, of course. The actual number of players are 10 times higher, at least, Henrik said. Marketing will start later, and you can also get very rare trinkets just by fishing, for example, if you are really lucky. In Haven are only low tier trinkets, or more or less from the lowest tier. Using trinkets as a bait for fishing is a maybe. Rings have main effects like stat bonuses and secondary powers like more defense, more offense, more whatever. And amulets have skill points and also the secondary powers. You will have 3 slots for trinkets, 2 rings and 1 amulet. And a ring that makes you invisible, he didn't want it to answer that. Tower shields will come soon. Voice over IP head movement will come, that you know who's talking. Invisible weapon bug is on the fix list. Maybe a small bonus if you have the Lexicon of Death skin for your spellbook. Discounts will come from time to time to Steam and Epic. Archery head wobbling will come, that mounted archery will get a lot harder. VR support will come to the game with Unreal Engine 5. Necromancy will give mounted mages a lot more options and a lot more viability in combat. More bug fixing will come as well, as always. Fist weapons will be added differently than it was in MO1. He wasn't going into detail, sadly. Thurzar healing reduction will be changed in the future, that it is actually a little bit more viable to heal the Thurzar. Wizard heads will come in the future. Poker, blackjack and other in-game games is worked on and will come to the game at some point. Shields that have even some magic resistance and stuff is a maybe. First come the trinket system and then the veteran system, and then you can have the full potential of your character. More dungeons and more monsters are always worked on and they will come. They are also working on improving the server capacity before they do the marketing, and more continents will come over time. So thank you guys a lot for watching. These things are often a shitload of work, so a huge thank you to all the supporters: Carmel, Professor Oslamov Gaming, Thibni, Lordless Guild, Frederick, the Spicy G, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Vinya, Cologne, Bulldog, you and all the others, of course. And never forget to make party hard! Like and sub would be awesome. And see you all next time. Goodbye!